train the dog in drive, meaning for treats. You show him a treat or two, and dog goes, "Oh, I want a treat. You don't matter. Anybody could hold that toy or treat, right? But the dog is in drive, so to speak. Meaning he's all perked up, and prancing, and like a Lipizzaner, right? Yeah. and they look good. They get more points. Yeah. In tracking, they track and they put in every footprint. They put cat food, so the dog goes footprint to footprint to footprint to footprint, and then they start putting the pieces of food further and further apart, right? And they want the dogs to follow a footprint. Where if you do search and rescue or felony tracking, you shouldn't really care if. Okay, there's three reasons why the dog will follow the track. It's tracking, trailing, air scenting. Right? Tracking is what they do in sport of Schutzhunds, from footprint to footprint to footprint to footprint. The dog actually gets more points when he puts the nose on every footprint. Now, trailing is when you walk through the wilderness or somewhere, and the wind is blowing your particle of your clothes and skin and your breath and deposits it on terrain, trees, boulders, buildings, down the wind, sometimes 100 feet away or more. So the dog can be completely off track. I mean off trail, but he's on track. Right? The trail. So I mean from track, he's on trail. In other words, he's away from the footprints. But he follows your order, 100, 200 feet away, down the wind, parallel is where he walked, okay? And then you have air scenting, where the dog hits a scent cone as the wind is blowing. You can imagine, picks up your order, and it looks like a funnel, if you would see it.
My dog comes in there after Hans leaves, the girl. That's the first thing she does.
Because she smells all the dogs on me, right?
Air scent right away, up in there.
Yeah. Well,
that's what she does, yeah.
But in wilderness, for example, or in earthquake areas or whatever, or in drug detection, or any explosive detection, as the wind is picking up the water, it spreads into the cone, right? And dog hits the scent cone, it's called, and hits it. You can see how he reacts, right? And goes zigzag to the source, right? So that's not fake training, right? But in sport, in order to make the dog look good, they make you go from footprint to footprint, forget air scenting, forget trailing.
Yeah. Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
And you gotta do just tracking.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
I may have messed it up a minute ago. It's tracking, footprint to footprint, trailing. Trail can be 100, 200 feet wide.
Okay.
And air scenting is a scent cone.
Okay.
So basically, going from footprint to footprint to footprint has very limited use in real life.
Yeah.
And again, we have a sportism in search and rescue where the legal eagles from FEMA and all that decided that the dog gotta do one or another. That's at least what I've heard. That's how, and I know that's how it was. In other words, you have a dog if he's tracking, dog gotta do tracking. He can't do air scenting or trailing.
Why would you limit the dogs?
Don't ask me, man.
Okay.
I have no
I don't know anything about that, but it doesn't even
doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make sense.
I'm trying to make
There's
sense
some kind of legal reason, right?
Okay.
Your dog may get off of the track and start hitting trail or scent cone. I give you a scenario: you're walking down by the creek through the canyon, and the victims, so to speak, walk all the way to the canyon, and then she, in J-shaped fashion, hooked up and start walking on the top of the rim of the canyon, and then I was sitting there, and you go below the victim, following the track, but there is an air scent cone going down the canyon, and dog hits it, so he will shortcut sometimes several miles, right? And he will go up the side of the canyon, of the valley, directly to the victim. That's a natural thing. which enables the dog to survive, because if you want to hunt for animals, you know, you want to do it as most efficiently as possible. But people in their infinite wisdom decided, because sometimes what happens, the dog will lose the scent cone if the wind stops blowing.
Yeah.
You know, so now you gotta go back to the track.
Yeah.
And if he's doing tracking, and he gotta go back to the track, you may wasted time, they will say, the lawyers will say.
Because they teach in law school how to track, right?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I'm being facetious.
Yeah, I know. But you know, so you went up this 6,000 or 3,000 slope, and the victim is sitting up there maybe, and you're following the scent cone, and you lose the scent cone, so you gotta go back to the track, and you lost maybe 2 hours, and then you gotta follow that track around, and by then the guy may die, and you have a legal issue. See what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay.
Right. That's their reasoning behind that.
Got it.
And personally, you know, I think we have a dogs and they know best how to find something.
It's like the long leash concept.
Right.
Say, why are you leading the dog with the long?
So don't interfere with the dog,
Yeah,
right? They know best how to do it.
Yeah.
And no, it's not 100%,
Yeah, nothing.
right? But you know, the attorneys, they will say, yeah, but we want, if we say this dog was just trained tracking, you cannot challenge it in court,
Okay.
right? Because that's what he was doing,
Tracking.
right? Tracking.
It was trained in.
Yeah. And then you have a different dog who will do just air scenting, right? You know.
Understand?
It's complex. Personally, you know, I go along with the dog, which I like to say,
Yeah.
and I want the dog to do his magic, and I try not to interfere with the dog unless I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what would that be like if I see the dog lost the track and is completely confused, and you know, so I'll take him back to the last point I know he was tracking and put him there on the track. That's how I would help, right? For example. But that happens very rarely. Experienced dog will do it on its own.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a real tracking. Now you have the fake tracking for the points, where the dog goes from footprint to footprint, and they judge how many times the dog deviates 12 inches from the track and he loses point here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because it's all about points. It's not about tracking, right?
If it was, they wouldn't do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And you see, like Odin, for example, he genetically, you take him out of the car and he puts the nose on the ground, and he just never lifts it up. When we do protection, he lifts it up, but then he go right back.
He does, yeah.
You know,
It's one of the dogs.
and that's genetic predisposition for that.
Yeah.
And so that's good, but we want the dog also do air sending. We don't want him to be hooked on just and trailing. You know, we don't want him to be just hooked up on one of those 3 things, which that's what the sport promotes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's fake training,
Yeah.
right? Because it doesn't have correlation, direct benefit in real life.
Yeah.
Use from working dog, from real working. You know, the sport people, they like to call their dogs working dogs, but they're not working dogs, they're sport dogs.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's a profound difference.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And then going to protection, for example, almost all exercises are fake over there, right? First of all, the dog in sport is taught from puppy to target the equipment.
Yep.
Right. Now that's good because partially good. You know, because you don't want the dog to bite the helper in the leg.
Yeah.
You want to bite him in the sleeve.
And Hans said it's good, but just big asterisks, they're good for if you want sport.
Right. If
That's
you want
what-
sport,
so
right? Yeah.
I just wanna say-
It's in the realm of sport. It's necessary, good.
Yeah.
Because if you were put there like Horchichka, my dog, you know, she would bit the decoy first in the leg and then she would hit him in the shoulder. Right? And when sport people see it, they say, oh, that's wrong. It's wrong for your points. I understand that, but for real life, if I said, you know, anyway.
There's no fair fight.
Right. There shouldn't be, you know. How do they say it? If you find yourself in fair fight, you need to reconsider your tactics. Reevaluate your tactics.
Should be a shirt.
So,
Just try to say some key points here. That's why as a layperson, I'm sitting here. I've been with the house for 2 years. I'm just trying to make sure I know we had discussion. And I'm looking at this also from the outside. That's why I'm just interfering. Sorry, Hans, just to make sure that when they're listening, like what you, I'm just, So I apologize if I jump in.
You gotta look at my not point A, B, C, D, but you gotta look at it
Like a conglomerate.
like a conglomerate.
Hey,
You gotta watch it all before you can make your opinion.
So I'm a green person.
Yeah, yeah,
sitting.
yeah.
That's me. For
Well,
most of
anyway,
it,
so don't interrupt me.
yeah. But
I'm just kidding. No, listen. It's so in sport they teach the dog to target the